As soon as they got back to the dig site, Jayden spotted Helen standing by the largest pit. She called out, "Are you okay?" Jayden nodded, and walking to Helen, he stood at the mouth of the hole and looked down. What he saw made him forget the attempt on his life and his crashed car. Scanning the half-unearthed skeletons of a horse and human, he stared at the smiling woman and, feeling ecstatic, he shouted, "Helen, I can't believe it! You found a medicine woman!" "Yes," Helen replied, smiling at the young man. "Isn't that exciting? Let's go down and take a closer look." Both standing at the bottom of the pit, Helen called over to Jayden, "Come look at the skull. Judging by her teeth, she must have been around 40 when she was buried in full regalia. And her hand." Helen pointed at the bones. "Look at that delicately carved falcon into her ring that looks like it was made of jade." Jayden took a sharp breath and bent down, staring at the skeleton's finger. Deep emotions constricting his throat, he whispered, "Helen, I need to talk to you alone." "Okay," Helen said, looking surprised. "Hey, people," she called out. "All of you, go up and take a break." The students looked surprised, but complied and climbed up on the stepladder one by one. "Helen, this is my ancestor," Jayden whispered, and turning his head, he looked into Helen's eyes. "What? Oh, you mean, in general, like an ancestor of the Huns?" "No," Jayden sighed, straightening up. "I mean my ancestor. The turtle bird with wide-open wings holding a sword in its talons has been my family's insignia since the 4th century, when my ancestors were leaders of the Roaring Falcon clan for generations. Look." He extended his left hand and showed his gold signet ring to the astonished woman. Helen stared at him in disbelief and opened her mouth to speak, but couldn't make a sound. After clearing her throat, she finally managed to say, "Unfreaking believable! What are the odds of this happening? You joined my dig as a guest archaeologist from New York, and now we found your ancestor? I can't believe this." She shook her head, glanced at the woman's skull, and she blurted out, "You're the lucky charm of this group. And if we get even luckier, maybe we could have a DNA analysis done. This could be the find of the century." Jayden's head swimming with thoughts, questions, and heart heavy with mixed emotion, he remembered to tell his boss about his find. "Helen, I just started unearthing a sword when all this happened." Helen looked up at him, shaking her head, and replied with a hint of irritation in her voice, "Yeah, okay. I'll look at it later. Now this pit is the priority. Get your tools and join me," she instructed. Jayden nodded and started climbing up the stepladder. Heading toward the pit with the buried sword, he recalled the young woman's face when she fired the arrow at him. "It's impossible," he mumbled. "Why would she? How could she? No way. This crazy person just looked like her." Shaking his head, he pulled his phone from his back pocket and dialed Sofia's number.